All right. Hello, everybody. My name is Aubrey Saharia.
My name is Grace Bernachos.
And my name is Nicole Martin. We're from the Reading Comprehension and Cognition Lab at the University of New England, and today we're going to be presenting on learning during a global pandemic, optimizing remote learning by reducing cognitive load. When the COVID-19 pandemic forced schools online last March, there was little time or research on how to optimize digital teaching practices. In the last year, teachers across the globe have begun to use remote learning more than ever, and with that has come a steep learning curve on how to make the most of resources available. One popular solution that teachers have been turning to is the use of pre-recorded narrated slides that students can view to consume course content. When making these videos, instructors have the option to include a small video of themselves speaking that is presented simultaneously to the narrated slides in one of the corners of the screen. While this might not seem like an important decision to include this video or not, current literature has two conflicting theories on if it is beneficial to student learning. While one theory believes that it will make videos more engaging, the other proposes it will overwhelm students by increasing their cognitive load. The goal of this study is to examine the impact of the presentation of a pre-recorded lecture on students' ability to learn remotely. Specifically, we investigate how video perceptions of the video, and personal factors impact their recall ability.
So in our study, we had 148 undergraduate students from the University of New England participate in our study. Each was granted a research credit for their participation and completed the study from a remote location of their choosing, so like a library, home, or dorm. Participants were randomly assigned to one of four conditions, which consisted of a combination of audio, which was the instructor's narration, and or video, where the instructor's face was shown at different times. So the conditions consisted of one being instructor not visible, so audio only, which you can see to the right in the material section. Condition two, with the instructor being visible with slides. So that was audio and the video was overlaid on the slides, similar to how this presentation is set up. Condition three, only seeing the instructor for the beginning and end. So the video was introduced with the professor being visible, then the audio lecture, and then a video send-off from the professor. And then condition four was no video at all, just questions because it was the control condition. Then participants were instructed to watch a 10-minute pre-recorded lecture that, as stated before, was narrated by a professor. They then completed a variety of different measures to understand their experience with the lecture, answer recall questions, and demographic questions.
So what we found is that there was actually no significant difference between the experimental conditions. The audio-only lectures had the lowest mean recall score, followed by the video intro and send-offs, and talking head lectures were found to have the highest mean recall scores of the three styles, as you can see in figure 1. And so while the audio-only condition was significantly lower than the talking head scores, the intro and outro videos didn't seem to significantly differ from the other two presentation styles. Additionally, we did find some interesting interactions between individual factors and score. And so, as seen in figure 2, the score was directly influenced by cognitive load, mind wandering, and marginally by social presence. And mind wandering and social presence interacted with each other as well. And interestingly, these three main influences also interacted with different states that the students could have come into the lecture with. So the first two, cognitive load and social presence, were both influenced by fatigue experienced by the student. And mind wandering was significantly mediated by students' visual versus verbal preference, so whether they prefer listening or watching a lecture. They also were affected by students' online course value, or so how much they valued the online course, as well as their cognitive load. And social presence was marginally influenced by this visual verbal preference, and interestingly, it was the only main factor that was significantly influenced by the lecture presentation style. So what we can kind of say from this is that while lecture presentation style does not directly impact recall, the states with which students enter the lecture, as well as their cognitive state during the lecture, can affect that learning. So specifically, students' perceived social presence was affected by presentation style, which then acts to alter recall ability. And overall, this means that when instructors are designing their remote lectures, both social presence and cognitive load should be at the forefront, so students need to feel engaged while not being overtaxed. And as we found, recall is influenced immediately by students' cognitive load, social presence, and mind wandering during the lecture, and those states are then influenced by their tiredness, how much they value the course, and their visual preference entering the lecture. So further investigation can lead to a better understanding of this relationship between the pre-lecture states, cognitive states during the lecture, the presentation style, and their overall learning. Thank you so much. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out.